Alycats and you viewers. So today I'm doing part 2 of my March 2017 favorites. If you don't know what favorites are, that's where I list all my favorites in the entertainment industry and you guys can hear me just gush about them. Also, really quick before the video typically starts, made no sense, let me know if you want to keep seeing these in 2-part formats or if you'd rather me do a really long one at the end of the month. I need to know which one you'd rather see because on Twitter it was a very close race. So in the comment box down below, let me know if you want 2 videos or one longer one at the end of the month. And now I'm going to get started. The book that I really loved over the past couple of weeks has been A Man Called Ove by Frederick Bachman. This is a fantastic novel. I actually wrote a review for this on my blog, alycatgeekery.com. It will be linked down below. But this is a beautiful tale about loss and love and friendship, and it's got a cat in it. It just deals very heavily with the effects of mental illness, how it feels to lose someone you love, and how the people around you make you either a better person or a worse person. So this is a very beautiful look at life, love, loss, grief, and I highly recommend it. Now for all the movies I loved. This is always jam-packed because I watch one movie a day. So let's just get cracking. First one up is Miss You Already. This was an underrated film that came out in 2016. It's directed by Catherine Hardwicke and stars Drew Barrymore, Toni Collette, and Dominic Cooper. It's about 2 best friends, and it charts from when they first met to their current day situations, and Toni Collette's character finds out she has breast cancer, and this deals with her finding out she has cancer and how her family and friends deal with this. And then Drew Barrymore's character finds out she's pregnant, and through both of their situations they support each other, they love each other, and it shows how deep the bond of friendship goes. I feel like this was a really overlooked film. It's very heartwarming and I really recommend you watch it because it did actually make me cry a little bit. It made me laugh, it made me smile. It made me feel all the good, positive feelings. So Miss You Already is definitely a film I recommend you watch if you're into that kind of film. The next film I really enjoyed was Hail Caesar. I've recently started to kind of go on a quest to see more Coen Brothers films, and even though this one did get a lot of mixed reviews, I really enjoyed it. It was messy, but I loved all of the characters in this film. I loved the plot about this lead character played by George Clooney being abducted by a production company and being held for ransom, and I love the performances, especially by Alden Ehrenreich. He was so good in this film, but also by Ralph Fiennes, Scarlett Johansson, George Clooney, as I mentioned. So many amazing actors are in this film, and it's such a beautifully shot film. It's got that Coen Brothers humor, which I really adore right now because I love their sense of humor. And I actually really enjoyed Hail Caesar. The next film is a very controversial film because of the topic it broaches, but that is Elle. This is the latest film from Paul Verhoeven, who I'm a huge fan of, and it's his first French language film. This stars Isabelle Huppert, who is nominated for her Best Actress Oscar at this year's Academy Awards. She stars as Michelle, who is a woman who at the very beginning of the film is raped. But instead of calling the police or anything, she just cleans up the mess that's made, she takes a bath, she gets on with her life. She is a video game developer, and she just wants to publish the game that her studio is currently working on. And this deals with how she herself deals with the assault. She deals with what went on in her past, which was very traumatic. And it deals with how she views love and life. And it is a very controversial film. It is very disturbing. It's not going to be for everyone, especially with how Michelle approaches how she is raped multiple times in this film and how she deals with the rapes and how she deals with her past. And it is a very brutal film. It is graphic, but it is an important film. And Isabelle Huppert is so good. And Paul Verhoeven, this film is one of his best in such a long time. I adored this film. It was fantastic. If you don't mind seeing a film that broaches really heavy topics like this, then you're in for a treat if you watch Elle. It's so, so good. Next up is Rushmore. Again, I am on a Wes Anderson kick, and I really adored this film. This was one of his first films, if not his first film, I believe. And this stars Jason Schwartzman as a teenager who goes to Rushmore Academy, and he is the most active in extracurriculars at his school. He's basically a part of every single club in his school, But because he's so active in extracurriculars, his actual academics are terrible, so he gets kicked out of Rushmore, and he's also in love with one of the teachers at Rushmore. He develops a friendship with another teacher at Rushmore, and he has to deal with having to go to public school while also dealing with being in love for the first time, and also having a friendship with the male teacher played by Bill Murray. It's funny, it's typical Wes Anderson, it's very quirky. There are a lot of close-up shots, there are a lot of shots of the characters looking directly into the camera. It's a very colorful film. If you like Wes Anderson films, you like quirky films, then Rushmore is something I think you'll enjoy. Next up is Beauty and the Beast, the 2017 live-action remake. I actually filmed a review for this, so check that out for my thoughts, but hint, I loved it! And next up is Temple Grandin. This is the film that is based off the actual person, Temple Grandin, and she's played by Claire Danes. Temple Grandin is autistic, and she actually changed the way that cattle are handled, and she changed the cattle management industry for good. And it's just such an inspirational story about how she overcame autism, how she went to college, how she changed the landscape for cattle management. And even though there are some times where I was like, I don't really care that much about this aspect, I cared about Temple. I cared about how she dealt with things, and it was so interesting to see how she became such a strong, independent woman, and it's just such an inspirational story, so I do highly recommend you watch Temple Grandin. The next two films I really enjoyed were Take Shelter and Mud, which I'm not going to talk about in this video because, hint hint, I may have a video about the filmography of Jeff Nichols coming up soon. Just a little hint, but Take Shelter and Mud are fantastic films. The next film is Nocturnal Animals. This is the second directorial offering from Tom Ford, the iconic fashion designer. And this stars Amy Adams, Jake Gyllenhaal, Michael Shannon, who was nominated for a Best Supporting Actor Oscar for this film, Aaron Taylor Johnson, and Isla Fisher. And this is the story of a woman named Susan, who is played by Amy Adams, and one day she's living her perfect life with her perfect husband, played by Armie Hammer, and she receives in the mail a book. And this book is written by her ex-husband, and she reads this book, and she learns that this book is very biographical. There are a lot of elements that include her in the novel. The novel is dedicated to her, actually, and the title of the novel is actually a nickname that her ex-husband gave her when they were married. So she's obviously disturbed by what she's reading, but she's also fascinated by it. And there are 3 stories in this film, but the majority of the film is actually centered on the novel. The other 2 stories are Amy Adams' character's current day life, and then when she and Jake Gyllenhaal's character first met. But it's a fantastic film. I adored the novel aspect, how it delves into the novel, then comes back out and reflects Susan's life currently, and it's just such a visual treat. There was actually a jump scare in here that got me really badly, but every actor in this film is so good. I mean, oh my gosh, such great performances. This is something that I do recommend you see because it's so good. And finally, the last movie I watched over the last couple of weeks has been Radio Days. And this is a Woody Allen film. I've become a huge Woody Allen fan. His film work, not his personal life work, I have to point that out. But Radio Days chronicles the life of a boy who is now an adult, but it shows how radio changed his life. And that really connected with me because cinema and television and video games have changed my life. So to see someone who was affected by an entertainment aspect on screen really resonated with me. It showed his crazy family, and it was just really funny and heartwarming, and such a lovable, warm film. Next for TV, The Originals just came back on, which is kind of filling the void The Vampire Diaries left, but kind of not, because it's a spin-off, but it's definitely darker and grittier and sexier than The Vampire Diaries was, and it's just started, but I'm really enjoying it. And also, I just started watching Mystery Science Theater 3000, the original series, and I am loving it. Oh my gosh, I can watch one of these episodes, and I don't laugh a lot, but every single episode of MST3K makes me laugh so hard that my abs hurt, I have tears running down my face, I can't breathe, I sound like a hyena. Like, I love Mystery Science Theater 3000. I don't know why I haven't seen it sooner, but oh my gosh, is it fantastic. And you can watch 20 of the original episodes on Netflix right now if you're in the US. Now moving on to gaming, there are 2 games I love. First up is Phoenix Wright, Ace Attorney, Spirit of Justice. I am loving this game. If you have played any of the previous Phoenix Wright games, you know what you're going into. You're solving court cases as Phoenix Wright. You're encountering funny dialogue, characters with really, they're stupid names, but they're funny at the same time, like Pot Roll, I'll Be Your Guide, Peace, Love, and Understanding. You get the drift. But it's so much fun just to solve these cases and to go through the evidence and to hear the pop culture references that are sprinkled throughout the Phoenix Wright games. And Spirit of Justice does add a new gameplay wrinkle. You do seance sections now in this game. You pick out different aspects of the seance and find contradictions. It's not a huge difference from the previous games, so if you're not a fan of the other games in the series, you're not going to like Spirit of Justice. But if you are a fan of the previous Phoenix Wright games, this is more of that goodness. You get more story with the characters, and of course you get to go back into the courtroom with Phoenix Wright, so it's so fun. Also, another game I'm loving, which is going to be controversial, I know, but that's Mass Effect Andromeda. There's flaws with this game, okay? But I can look past the flaws, and I'm having so much fun with this game. I'm addicted, okay? I cannot stop playing this game. I want to play it right now, honestly. It's just so much fun. Mass Effect is one of my favorite game series ever. And yeah, Andromeda does have problems. Like, I will admit, I've gotten stuck in the environment a couple times. I've had to restart my game once. There are some wonky facial animations. There's texture pop-in. But I can overlook that for the story that's going on, for the connection I have with my crew, my connection to my character, the Pathfinder, Alyssa White, with the amazing visuals, the incredible story, the missions, the side quests. I'm just loving everything about this game pretty much, besides the few little niggles I mentioned, but I love Mass Effect Andromeda. Sue me. Don't actually sue me, okay? It's just an opinion. And all the music I loved is listed in the description box down below, so give the songs a listen and let me know what you think. If you like this video, leave a like. Also, let me know down below if you want to have a 2-part April favorites or a 1-part April favorites down below, because I need to know for my own personal, you know, editing and filming and preparation and stuff. And if you like this video, make sure to share it because it helps the channel grow. And if you're not subscribed to my channel and you like what you see and heard, you'll see my face floating over here in the near future. Click on my face and I'll sub you to my channel. Also, make sure the bell wherever it's located on your screen is clicked, because that notifies you every time I upload a new video, start a new live stream, yada yada yada. I love you guys so much. Thank you so much for watching. Peace and kisses. Bye.